And now my son, he's coming down here. So this custom project. Last night I got a notification that Litchi has updated the iOS version of the Litchi Beta app that currently works with the Mavic Mini 2. And in this video I'm going to show you the two latest additions. They have added an Orbit mode as well as a Simulate mode that I think if you are relatively new to the hobby that you will find quite useful. In case you want to play around with the Litchi app yourself, you do need to buy it and then you need to download it through the link in the description below. Right now, the iOS beta version, you need to write to Litchi support to gain access to test flight, and there are only limited seats available. Welcome to another video. I'm Henrik Olsen, and if you want to learn how to make better videos with your camera and drones in general, then consider subscribing to my weekly tips, tests and tutorials. Many of you have been doing this lately, and I'm really stoked to see the growth of the tech drone media community. If you're new to the drone hobby, it can be a little bit intimidating playing around with these automated flight modes. What if there was a way of simulating these flight modes before you actually execute them without flying the drone? So you could see that everything was like it's supposed to be before you actually go to execute it. This is what Litchi has added to the app, and they call it Simulate. Let me just show you how that works. So you go here into the interface, and in here you simply just press where you can see the current flight mode here in the center of the screen. And when you do that, it will turn purple. That means that the drone is in simulation mode. So right now, I can basically start the drone. So now it will start the drone without actually starting the drone. You can see it's not doing anything. So I can increase the altitude. Let's just take the camera view again here. I can increase the altitude. So now I'm in 10 meters height, but it's still staying on the ground. And if I just take the map here and zoom out a little bit, then you can see that I can actually fly around here. So I can test the moves that I'm going to perform. All the stuff that you see on the map here is not actually here. So there are no cars, and also there's only a single car over there with nobody inside. So I can fly this around and I can do almost anything, and the drone will behave like it was flying in real life, but it's actually grounded, as you can see here on the camera view. So to expand the uses of this function, we can look at the second feature that they have added to the iOS version of the Litchi Beta app, and that is Orbit mode. So if I go in here and I start Orbit, then I need to set my point of interest somewhere. So let's just put that around here. And it will draw a circle around this point of interest. And if I hit the camera icon here, I would see the options that are available. And right now, let's say that we want the drone to be 5 meters altitude. That's fine. We can do like 15 meters radius. The speed, that is right now 10 degrees per second, which basically means that it will take it 36 seconds to complete a revolution. That is maybe a little bit too slow for this video. So let's just increase that speed so we get down to maybe 20 seconds to do that operation. The entry point is where into the circle that the drone needs to start the point of interest. And there's north, south, west, east, and there's the nearest point. For this demonstration, we will just take the nearest point. The heading mode, you can make the drone look forward, you can make it look backward, you can make it look center, outward, and you can have manual control. So you basically can control which direction you want the camera to look in. For this example again, we will pick center. I can select clockwise or anti-clockwise, depending on what direction that I want the drone to circle. Finally, there is the opportunity to switch between manual and auto settings of the gimbal. If you set it to auto, it will automatically try to look at a subject height that you set in this setting below the gimbal selection. And now my son, he's coming down here. So this custom project. We will film him a little bit later, then you can see it's a crazy custom project that he's been building by himself in the garage. Okay, so now we are still in the simulate mode. So when I press start here, what you will see now is that the drone will actually execute the orbit thing, and the simulate function can be used on all the different modes that are in here to see how the drone is actually executing. But in this way, we can see that the drone is heading center in toward the point of interest, and now it will start to circle around the point of interest and complete the mission or the orbit function that we asked it to do. And still, all of this is happening without the drone ever leaving the ground. So once I'm happy with the result, I can press stop. And then I can basically try and execute the mission for real. And the way to pull it out of the simulation mode is just to long press. Unfortunately, you have to restart the drone to take it out of simulation mode. So now I restarted the drone, and it will be back here shortly. So now the drone is restarted. We put in our mission. We correct the parameters a little bit. I think I want it a little bit tighter. I want it down to 10 meters radius, like this. And then I simply press start. So let's just start some recording here. So now it's completing the round. Takes around 20 seconds. And what you see down here is actually a custom bike that my son has built from the ground up. I will show you a few close-ups of that one just in a second here. So let's just stop this. There's something not completely right. For some reason the camera view gets stuck and you need to basically kill the app and start it again to make it work. So this was a rough demo of the two new features that Litchi has implemented in the app. The Simulate, that will allow you to execute and try out functions inside the Litchi app without the drone actually flying. And the Orbit mode, which is as expected, that you drop a pin and then you make the drone orbit around that point of interest. It's still not completely 100% flawless, as you saw, but I would expect Litchi to improve on this until they release the final product. And just to address some of the complaints I've gotten through the previous videos that hey, maybe you should prepare a little bit more when you are doing this kind of videos. No, I should not, because this series was just me playing around with the app. It's not an exhausted tutorial on how everything is working. It's just me having fun with a piece of beta software and showing you what I see during the process. This project that you just saw my son has completed, he has actually taken an ordinary, electric scooter, and then he converted it into his own electrified Harley. So everything is built from the scratch up. He took the original scooter apart, so he harvested all the parts like the wheels, the motor, the gear drive, the speed controller and everything. And everything is reused in this project. The jerry can, he purchased that in a local hardware store, and he has made a small lid inside and stored the batteries and everything and the motor controller inside this jerry can. The whole chassis, or I don't know if it's called a chassis on a vehicle like that, he has built from 20mm pipes that we have purchased in also in a local hardware store. And he had his friend help him weld it up. So he had this structure that you just currently saw. Everything else is reused parts from all other projects that he has been doing. I think he has been doing a fantastic job. What do you think? Let me know in the comment below. Do you know there is a big chance that DJI will release a successor to the Mavic Mini here very soon, called the Mavic Mini 2. This has come as a big surprise for many, but I've made a video about the 9 things that I think you will get when this drone is being released here during November. In case you missed that video, you can access it through this card. I hope you liked this video. If you did, then feel free to give it a like. If you didn't like it, feel free to press the dislike button twice. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you around.